St. Louis Blues hockey is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. In, up, fix, out, Dobbs does it all. Get great offers on 2015 Chevy models. Find new roads at your Mid-America Chevrolet dealer. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. And the 7-game homestand continues tonight. The Carolina Hurricanes are in town for the first time this year. And our Dobbs starting goaltender, Brian Elliott, makes his 100th start as a St. Louis Blue. He leads the league with a 1.81 goals against average, and he'll be opposed by former Stanley Cup winner Cam Ward, who lifetime against the Blues is 5-1-1. Same lineup for the Blues. Pietrangelo and Bouwmeester on defense. Up front it is Oshie. Backes and Steen, though, go against the Canes' top line of Jordan Staal, Eric Staal, and Elias Lindholm. Blues hockey is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Oshie is in quickly to get it for the Blues. And near the line, Steen can to hold it in. Here come the Hurricanes. Justin Falk in. He will be their all-star representative in Columbus. Now back of the goal, Lindholm, the Swede. It comes in front and taken care of by Oshie, and then played down the ice. This goes all the way down, and an icing call against the Blues.
So Jordan Staal had Eric Staal wide open. That's a good play behind the net. This all started with some good pressure in the defensive zone by Eric Staal's squad defensively. They pushed the puck up the ice and created a pretty good scoring chance right there. Jordan had maybe a little bit more time than he thought he had coming around the net.
And Jordan is just back after missing 36 games following a broken leg in training camp. And of course, after the icing call, the Blues can't change. So now the Hurricanes send out Riley Nash at center between Nathan Gerbe and Yuri Tolusti. Face-off won by the Hurricanes, in on goal, and Elliott had to make a save, and a very alert save on Gerbe.
A good little save, corralling the rebound. Certainly something that Brian Elliott wanted to touch on following that last game against San Jose. There was a few squishy rebounds there. Bouwmeester actually had that on the back end as well, so two sticks there colliding. You've got to be real sharp as the goaltender.
Both clubs are very good in the face-off circle. The Blues third best. As they win this one, clear to center ice. And Brett Belmore back at his own line for Ron Hainsey. And now Hainsey gets it again. And Belmore, their 6th-round pick at 07. That rolls into the blue zone. Gunnarsson, and ahead to Tarasenko. On with Schwartz and Laterra. Tarasenko trying to cut to the middle, and now goes for a skate back in his own zone.
There's certainly times where he's reluctant to just dump that puck in because he wants to make a play, and here he makes something out of nothing.
And now a pass in the slot, and that's broken up by the Canes, and they fire it down the ice, and that's an icing call.
Well, Tarasenko's got numbers going in the offensive zone. He looked to his right. I'm sure Kirk Muller's telling him right now, if you've got the line like that, get that puck in deep instead of bailing out, because everybody's going north. Right winger's going north. Left winger's, obviously he's on the right side, but the right wing was filled up by Laterra, and a chance to get that puck down deep.
And you had to love Tarasenko's soundbite that we played in the pregame show. So happy to go to the All-Star game with Shattenkirk, the man he roomed with in his first year in the NHL. And now the puck to center ice. Taken by the Blues and Berglund. In for Yashkin. Stastny the center on this line. Now Yashkin down low. Creates the turnover. And then Berglund, who scored a goal in the last game, gets it in front. And Ward makes the stick save. And the Hurricanes chop it back to center ice. And now Butler. Quickly on to Berglund. In for Yashkin. And a drive. And that goes wide glove side. And it comes around to Jeff Skinner. Now into Ryan Murphy. Murphy, a high shot, hit glass. And now back of the line. Rask, a shot, they score! I believe off Butler. And it's 1-0. The shot by Victor Rask.
Well, their young defenseman, Ryan Murphy, comes flying down the right side and just whistles it wide. This comes on the heels of Yashkin firing the puck at the other end, going wide. This one's wide here, and you can see Rask firing it at the net. And Man, we'll take a look at this angle here as Rask lets it go right off the left skate of Butler, going to the right pad of Ryan Elliott. And as Elliott's making that one little move, you have to open up your legs a little bit. So a big break.
So Victor Rask, the young Swede, a second-round pick in 11, gets the first goal tonight, 6th of the year. And a goal that really Elliott had no chance on. The goal 2 minutes in. Now Reeves, a big hit back to the goal. Now the Blues center it. And a save by Cam Ward. Swatted back to the goal by Reeves. Now for Ott. He'll drop it back to Gunnarsson. Down the wing now for Ott. And he's got plenty of time. Deep slot, Shattenkirk. Wrist shot. Tipped and a pad save by Ward.
And Murphy has no stick, but the Blues go for a change here.
And now the Hurricanes to center ice. Former Blue, Jay McClements. Into the zone for Patrick Dwyer. He gets around Shattenkirk. In front off the stick of Gunnarsson and wide of the goal. And now Gunnarsson back of the goal against Dwyer. Trying to get away from the forecheck. Now played on to Backes. Tipped by Oshie. But not out of the zone. And good work by the Hurricanes and Andrej Sekera, the Slovakian. For Jordan Staal in front. Right pass saved by Elliott. On that close-in try by Lindholm. And now Steen back to get it for the Blues. And it bounces to center ice. The Hurricane goal, Rask from Murphy and Skinner at 2 minutes. And now the puck taken by Pietrangelo. He'll drop one in behind the Hurricane goal. Canes coming in here have won 3 of their last 4 games, including a 5-2 victory Thursday against Buffalo. So, Darren, they're playing their best hockey of the year.
Well, they went through a 3-game stretch of losing 3, and the goaltender makes 90 saves. They give up 6 goals total.
And a drive by Schwartz on goal and a save by Ward.
They've definitely tightened things up, but Ronnie Francis, the Hall of Famer, who's their general manager, said, you know, the injury to Jordan early on, I mean, they're just seeing the lineup they envisioned at training camp now.
And that is flipped in by Tolusti. And here's Pietrangelo. And he goes the other way to his partner, Bouwmeester. And a long feed to center ice for Schwartz. Semin is there for the Hurricanes. Drop back in the zone. Here's Pietrangelo up the middle. Now Yashkin into the wing. Berglund cuts to the slot. Down to the backhand. And a pass back was blocked. Good defensive coverage there by Skinner. And then Berglund back in his own line. Nearly 5 minutes gone, first period. The goal by Rask has Carolina up by 1. No icing here. Stastny gets to it, can't center. Now Paul Stastny again, back of the goal for Berglund. Berglund right in front, and that goes right through the legs of Yashkin, and the Hurricanes to center. And Semin with it. Hands it right to Chris Butler.
Well, the one thing about Bill Peters, too, the head coach of Carolina, highly influenced by the system of the Detroit Red Wings, and you see a lot of similarities. In fact, Ken Hitchcock says you're seeing about 90% of it now. He's not talking about the players. He's just talking about the way they approach things and the system that they play. Now, obviously, a very similar system that the Blues play as well. That Olympic blueprint is all over it.
Yeah, Bill Peters has been an assistant coach, or was for 3 years under Mike Babcock. His first NHL head coaching job. And that is sailed in by Ott. Bellemore the first man back. Now Ott comes in and a big hit. But Bellemore stands his ground. Now Ryan Reeves deep slot. That shot blocked. Here's Bouwmeester. And that's right on goal. And a save by Ward has it right in the glove and a whistle.
Yeah, another good solid save there by Cam Ward as we take a look at our Toyota keys to the game with the Blues trailing this one early 1-0. Fluky bounce off the defenseman's leg, but you've got to respect Carolina's recent play. You can't look at the whole picture. They've played well in the last 7 games, and obviously offense starts with good defense. Everybody's talking about the goals for. Well, the reason why they're getting a lot of goals, we know the power play's clicking, but they're taking care of the neutral zone and their own zone.
Centering pass intended for Oshie. That's broken up. Now Eric Stahl into the zone to Fall. Drop pass. Got by Lindholm. Block. Now Eric Stahl gets it. Good read and a good stick by Pietrangelo.
What a play.
Now on to the captain. To Pietrangelo. Back to Backes. Off the pad. Rebound. They score! Steen ties the game at 1.
Just a phenomenal defensive read by Alex Pietrangelo. And Alexander Steen bangs home his 12th. That's the read right there. Hockey sense, reading the play by Pietrangelo. He gets up the ice to Backes, has no other play but to give it back. Backes fires it on a sharp angle, right off the pad of the goaltender here. And then Steen is driving hard to the net and just rifles it high over the blocker, under the bar and in. What a shot.
His 12th of the year, and that extends his point streak to 6 straight. And the Blues tie the game at 6:21.
Talk about defensively taking care of matters, and that is just an all-world read there by Pietrangelo.
Was it ever? Now it's Tim Gleason up the wing. Here's a 3-on-2 for the Canes. Nathan Gerby comes in, and a backhander on goal by Riley Nash, and a save there by Elliott. Now in front again, another shot. And Elliott has that one, I think, under the pad, and we get a whistle. So Steen ties the game with his 12th from Backes and Pietrangelo.
Fans, join us in congratulating our 2015 NHL All-Stars. Blues defenseman Kevin Shattenkirk and forward Vladimir Tarasenko, each making their first All-Star Game appearance.
Shattenkirk leading all defensemen this year with 36 points. Tarasenko third in goals with 22. Certainly deserving to be in the All-Star game in Columbus coming up in a couple of weeks. And the Blues shoot it down the ice. Icing called here against St. Louis.
Well, kind of a typical start to a game like this. I mean, no familiarity. As Ken Hitchcock said, you've got to try to create an edge against a team that's at the bottom of the standings, and you don't see a whole lot. So I think one of the ways that you create an edge is falling behind 1-0 right off the hop. That gets your attention,
I would say. Now the Blues again off the faceoff, shoot at the length. And an icing call. Carolina on the year. Only 4-16-2 on the road, so they have really struggled away from Raleigh. Well, Vladimir Tarasenko was an NHL All-Star for the first time, and Tarasenko bobblehead night is coming up on Thursday, March 12th against Philadelphia. The first 15,000 fans will receive a Vladimir Tarasenko bobblehead. The March 12th game is also part of the stretch run packs, and tickets are on sale now at stlouisblues.com/tickets.
Another good face-off win by Victor Rask, their second-round pick.
Now Skinner shoots. He scores! Jeff Skinner! And it's 2-1 Carolina.
Sloppy defensive play, but it's face-off wins. We talked about and Skinner makes them pay after Rask wins the face-off, and then a little turnover inside the blue line. And you see right here, Rask 49 just keeps it in there, and then it's loose, and Skinner just strips the puck and rifles it past the glove side. And the goaltender here, as you see, Skinner with a good wrister from a distance, though, and it goes over the glove of Brian Elliott.
And he has scored goals in 2 straight, now with 10 on the year. And they're going 7-23. And the Canes are back on top. It's 2-1. As Reeves drops it back for Pietrangelo. And now Reeves for Bouwmeester. Watched by Dwyer. That's off Gleason's glove. Now tipped in front. Picked up by the Blues. LaPierre, backhander on goal. And a save by Ward. And then play to an open side. Reeves goes after it. Funnels it back of the goal. And now Belmore can't move it along. Reeves again to the wide open point, and in Bouwmeester And that's off the boards and well wide of the goal. Now grabbed by Lapierre. Lapierre in front, tipped by Ott. And in the slot, it's Dwyer there. Has a chance to clear it. And it pinballs around finally now to center ice for former Blue McClement. And he'll drop one into the corner. So Skinner gets that last goal from Rask and Semin. Now the Blues get it into the front again. Steen tried to hit Oshie. And the Hurricanes with Eric Stahl. And now to center ice. Falk comes in and a slap shot is up high. And that hits the glass.
Certainly close to being an offside play there.
Here's Eric Stahl again for Jordan. His younger brother rather. Now Falk back with the goal against Stahl. Jordan leaves it for Eric. That's knocked away by Pietrangelo, but kept in by Falk. And then Shattenkirk, look out, almost lost the handle. And then grabbed by the captain, Eric Stahl. A shot in a glove, saved by Elliott. And we get a whistle.
Good cycle there by the Stahl brothers. Big, strong players. They're good at coming out of the corners like that. But here's the play that we set up before the goal, and we let it roll. Good face-off win by Rask, and that kind of gets things started. Smart dump-in play. At that point there, both Butler and Elliott end up deciding to push it over to the side. The scrum in the bottle, a 2-on-2. Now the Blues have control and just weak on the puck there. Obviously, they've got guys in numbers right there, but Skinner wanted a little bit more and got it.
And there was a big gap down that left side. And now the Blues, Tarasenko for Jackman. Off Tarasenko's skate. Trying to chip it by Gleason. And now it goes to the corner. And here's Gleason again. As part of the Hurricanes last year, was traded to Toronto and then signed as a free agent. So he's back with the Hurricanes. Now Gleason's pass at the line broken up. Tarasenko gets it. In with Schwartz. Good back check there by Nash to break it up, and a big hit at center, Jackman and Gerby. And we get a whistle. Jackman. Now they go after Jackman.
Yeah, Gerby just was down on the ice. I mean, Jackman had no chance to avoid contact.
That is Gleason and Jackman. Gleason a couple of rights. Now Jackman fighting back. Some lefts by Gleason. And Jackman trying to regain his balance, and then they go down.
And you know, at the very end, you know, when Gleason went down on him, he was actually holding the back of the head of Jackman, knowing that he was going awkwardly down on the ice. I could see the hand there on the back of the head of Jackman at the very end. You know, I don't think Gleason saw this entire play develop here, because Gerby was the one that lost his footing and was down along the ice there. I mean, this is going to be a clean hit, but so the player, obviously Gleason, sees the aftermath of it, but it was Gerby that lost his balance and was already down. There's nothing in the world that Jackman's going to be able to do right there. So fortunately for Gerby, who's been a real good player in the NHL, just at 5'5", and he's a scrappy guy, and then Gleason goes to the defense of his player. So Jackman obviously obliges there. Two guys that usually scrap. Gleason and Ott have had their history of scraps with one another.
Gleason, Carolina, Jackman, St. Louis, 5 each fighting at 9:50.
Now Skinner comes in for Carolina, the shot, and that goes wide. Gleason did not get an instigating minor there, so we remain at full strength. Now back of the goal, Skinner has it again. Semin in the slot. Skinner turns, trying to spin off the check from Gunnarsson. And now Semin down the boards to Hainsey. Back of the goal. And then Skinner was knocked off the puck by Berglund's check. And the Blues to center, Shattenkirk. And then fired in by Stastny. Blues making a change. 2-1. Carolina in the lead here. Now Hainsey through center. And that goes to the corner. Jammed ahead by Bouwmeester. And now for Ott. And the puck at center ice. And Sekera gets it back for the Hurricanes. That's tipped along by McClement. And then Dwyer, the first man in. Now for McClement. And he is bumped off the puck. Back on the line now for Murphy. And then McClement again. Has played the last couple of years with the Maple Leafs. And he was signed as a free agent. Now in front. Tipped up in the air. Blocker saved by Elliott. And now Dwyer back on the goal. Boy, the Hurricanes are buzzing here. Leading 2-1. And now McClement on the cycle. Just leaves the puck in the corner. Dwyer back of the goal. Now for Malone in front. And then Dwyer again. And then back for Malone.
What a shift by this fourth line.
Against the Blues' fourth line. Now Malone again. He pumps it back of the goal. And now Jordan Staal for Lindholm. And he tries to get to the front. He was bumped by Pietrangelo. And hit again by Pietrangelo. Now Eric Staal to Jordan Staal. A shot right on and a save by Elliott. And the Blues shoot it high to center ice. And that's hammered back in by the captain, Eric Staal. And now Butler around to Shattenkirk. And the Blues break to center ice with Backes. For Oshie. To the middle to Backes. Drops it off. And that goes by everybody. And now Eric Staal away. He's got a breakaway. In the clear. And he scores! Eric Staal, and it's 3-1.
What a move. What a move at full speed. This is Rick Nash-like. The way he cut back to his left as a left-hand shot and then comes back on the forehand and dips it in on the backhand against Elliott. Blues have some good speed going through the neutral zone. Backes tries to play it back there, and then Staal, who had been deep in the offensive zone, gets a break there. He's late coming back and gets it. And the Blues are now going to change the goaltender. Brian Elliott out. 7:18 left in the first. Carolina's had 10 shots, and they've worked harder. They've been ready for this game. It's everything that the coaching staff and the players talked about today. Be prepared for Carolina. Don't get too far ahead of yourself. Respect your opponent. Boy, they've had a great start. A real good start. The Carolina Hurricanes, that is.
Under Bill Peters, and that goal by Eric Staal at 12:42 makes it 3-1. And they chase Elliott to the bench as they have scored 3 goals on 10 shots.
Now Tarasenko goes back and gives Jake Allen a pat on the pads. Brian Elliott was 3-1 in his last 4, stopping 94% of the shots. Plenty of offensive support. Now it's about grinding. Now this is about digging deep, and you don't have to win the game in the next couple of minutes, but you got to get right back into this game by putting the work boots on.
It's Allen's first appearance since the loss on December 27th at home against Dallas.
Unassisted goal at 12:40.
And that goal by Eric Staal is unassisted at 12:42. And it's 3-1 for the Canes. Now Bouwmeester back to get it. Darren, that goal was really set up by the great shift by that fourth line of Carolina.
There's no question about that. You're exactly right. Brad Malone, Dwyer, and McClement. They had enough sustained pressure. They put enough heat on the Blues that allowed the Staal line to get on the ice.
Now Tarasenko drops one to the corner. Big hit by Yashkin back of the goal. And now Shattenkirk in from the point. It's in the skates of Semin. And now the former Capital, Semin back of his own goal. And a long pass. That bounces down. And it should be an icing call. It is. As Gunnarsson goes back. Fox Sports Midwest welcomes the Steinberg Winter Classic, a 3-on-3 outdoor hockey tournament for the Cancer Care Foundation. Teams play at Steinberg Rink from February 27th through March 1st, and register your team now at SteinbergWinterClassic.com.
And congratulations to Joe Fresta Jr. doing a fantastic job with that. He presented a check, $160,000 for Cancer Care.
That is awesome. Well, Semin turns and fires one to center. Here's Steen for Backes. And then for Pietrangelo. Great wide feed. That's chipped in by Backes. And then he is hit hard by Falk. And Backes gets up, and he goes on the hunt.
Yeah, he's on a mission right now. You can tell.
He drills Jordan Staal. And then Oshie drops it back for Ott. And then Butler a shot. And that's tipped wide by Backes. And then at center ice, McClement is squeezed off the puck by Ott. And it trickles back to Pietrangelo. And now Butler to center ice. Max Lapierre chips it in and chases after it.
We talk about 5-man units all over the ice, and that's where Carolina is right now. They've had good containment of all 3 zones so far. David Backes, as you can tell, even before the Eric Staal goal, he got the puck in north until that pass came back, but a little bit of fault, a little bit of a stall. That's what captains do. That's what leaders do. This is going to be one of those games where it's not going to be fancy through the neutral zone. May not be a game where you can dangle and make a play. It's going to be a game that you're going to have to get that puck in north, change your style of play just a little bit. Can't be too stubborn on it.
Now the Blues off the face-off. Jori Lehtera. And then for Vladdy Tarasenko. Good pass back to Bouwmeester. And a shot. And Ward sees that one all the way. 5:02 to go in the first. The Hurricanes with a 3-1 lead.
You know, it's quite an honor, and I think you know, it's something that every NHL player aspires to be is on the All-Star team. It's you know, it's not the end of the road, but it's a good start, and I think, you know, the way that things have gone at the beginning of this year, I really just wanted to make it a point to become a better player for the Blues, and to be recognized on this stage is pretty cool.
And Kevin Shattenkirk, the first Blues defenseman in the All-Star game since Chris Pronger back in 2004. Now Schwartz off the face-off. And he's chased back to the goal. Here's Pietrangelo. And that shot is blocked by Brad Malone. And now Malone to center ice for Tulowitzki. Down the wall. And a traffic jam on the near side. Lehtera trying to jam it free. Tarasenko with it. And he gets to center ice. And now for Schwartz. Delayed penalty here against the Canes as Jake Allen heads off for the extra attacker. And now Bouwmeester on to center ice for Stastny. And that pass hit the leg of Malone. And the Blues regrouping on this delayed penalty. And then skated in by Berglund. And now the Canes touch it, and the Blues will get their top-rated power play on the ice for the first time.
As we talked about in the open, the top-rated power play going up against the 5th-ranked penalty kill.
Carolina, number 24, 2-minute minor for tripping.
And even more impressive is on the road, they're even better at 4th. There's Malone, who's had a good start to this game. Trips up the All-Star Vladdy Tarasenko.
The Blues 8 for their last 18. But the Canes are a good penalty-killing club. They've killed 26 in a row. Oshie on the forecheck with Stastny. Now it comes back. Oh, and it bounces over the stick of Shattenkirk, who's out high with Alexander Steen. And now Steen, who has scored the Blues goal. That is dumped in by Shattenkirk. Chipped around the boards by Stastny. And now Oshie for Shattenkirk. Put high on the glass and recovered by Stastny. Down to the back again. Shattenkirk winds up and a save rebound. Oshie was there, but he can't jam it by Ward. And the puck taken by McClement, who rips it down the ice.
Well, good entry into the zone there, and a dump in cross ice from Shattenkirk, where Paul Stastny had a beat on there and was able to get it in on the left side.
That pass intended for Lehtera goes in on Ward, and the Hurricanes quickly fire one to center ice. Now Bouwmeester for Pietrangelo. He gets it by Sekera. Schwartz in quickly. He is pinned by Riley Nash. Now Lehtera trying to get it free. Tarasenko does. To a wide open Pietrangelo. And he walks the line. Now to Tarasenko for Schwartz. Tarasenko again. They play catch. Tarasenko in front. A shot and a glove save by Ward. A tricky one. And he has that on the short side.
Those are some quick mitts there by Cam Ward on that shot. Not only that, but no rebound whatsoever. Quick little give and go there with on the right side of the ice, which is Schwartz and Tarasenko. And here Schwartz doesn't even stop it, punts it right back. And a quick release there, but there's no traffic in front of the net, as Lehtera had shifted to the right, and it gave Cam Ward an open view of that shot.
Now 38 to go in the Blues power play. They win it. Back for Bouwmeester. To Tarasenko in the slot. Lehtera. Backdoor feed. Picked off. Tarasenko gets it, and a shot wide. And now Schwartz settles it in deep. In on the wing. Tarasenko lets it go. He gets it back. Now for Bouwmeester. He winds up backdoor feed for Tarasenko. He'll tip it off the glass. And now it's off the skates of Pietrangelo to center ice. And 10 to go in Malone's minor. Now Bouwmeester back in there. He is slowed down by Hainsey. And then Tarasenko to help out. Malone is back. So the Hurricanes have killed off 27 in a row. 2 shots there on the power play for the Blues. And now Pietrangelo back of his own goal. For Bouwmeester and ahead to Steen. Nice move at center ice. Gets it back from Oshie. Steen a shot and a skate save by Ward. And off his skate to center ice. Now the Blues tip it at the line. Here's Oshie trying to dart around Sekera. Slowed up enough. Shattenkirk at center ice. And a pad save there by Ward. And then flipped along by the Hurricanes to Lindholm to the Blues line, where it's settled by Shattenkirk. Up the middle now for Stastny. And then Gunnarsson for Berglund. Trying to get it by Falk. And broken up by the Canes and then shoveled down the boards. That will be an icing call against the visitors.
Well, great recognition on the shift before, as Alex Semin has to stay on the ice there, certainly by the Steen and Oshie group. This is going to take a little bit of sustained pressure line after line right here. St. Louis with a significant edge in faceoffs.
Blues win this one back for Butler, but he falls down, and look out, Eric Staal, 2-on-1. Staal comes in, waits, back door.
What a save.
Seven can't get it by Jake Allen.
Yeah, pass was just off the mark, but Allen had his left pad down.
And now the captain, Eric Staal, again. In the final minute here. And that is blocked by Butler's left glove.
A little bit of bad luck here to start this game for Butler.
Yeah, he's had a tough first period.
Yeah, one just glances off his skate, and there he just loses his edging right there in the neutral zone.
Look out, Berglund had his pocket picked back of the goal by Skinner. And the Hurricanes gain possession.
Well, you don't usually have your forward in the defensive zone set up shop behind the net.
And then Berglund lost the puck at the line, 25 to go in the period. And Allen now for Butler, back for Jackman, who has served his 5-minute major. And Jackman to center ice, tipped along by Laterra. Now cleared but not out. Downloaded Tarasenko on the give and go. Good read there, and broken up by Semin. And that should just about do it as the period comes to an end. And the Hurricanes with a surprising 3-1 lead after 20 minutes.
And a big quiet in this capacity crowd here at Scottrade Center with some terrific play by Carolina, some sloppier play there by the Blues in the opening 20. Time now for a Plaza Tire Service shot comparison. After one period of play, the captain Eric Staal off to a very, very good start. He's got 1 goal and 2 total, and Alexander Steen the same numbers. Pat and Bernie, back up to you.
And we are back at Scottrade in St. Louis. Second period about to begin. Blues hockey is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Hurricanes control the opening faceoff.
And boy, as soon as that puck went back to the 2 defensemen, the 3 forwards, led by their centerman, just sprinted to the far blue line.
Now Justin Falk back on the goal for Staal. Eric Staal, the captain. He scored their 3rd goal in that opening period. And the Blues break to center ice, but now it is Andrej Sekera up for Jordan Staal. And then Pietrangelo almost lost it to his partner Bouwmeester. Nice pass, springing Oshie. He gets in. Tip wide by Schwartz. Now Schwartz back of the goal. A little thievery there by number 17. And now Sekera trying to move it up the boards. Oshie had a midair. Now a shot. Ends up in the corner. And Schwartz against Falk. Sekera again on the glass. Cut off by Tarasenko. And a shot by Schwartz on goal. And a save by Ward. And no further play.
Well, long been a strength of Cam Ward, and that's the hands that he has in that kind of play. So tough to generate a big, juicy rebound off that. Schwartz gets in there like a little buzzsaw. And here he just spins around. He wants to make sure that it goes to the net. I can assure you that in between periods that the fancy little plays were not going to work. And maybe it was a little bit of a wake-up call after the opening 20 minutes of play. And that's a credit to the way Carolina played as well.
And the face-off controlled by the Canes. It goes down the ice, not far enough for icing. Well, Gunnarsson passes at the back of the goal. And then Jake Allen blocked the centering feed from Skinner, and then thrown ahead by Tarasenko for Schwartz on the cycle, and that goes back of the goal. Stastny centering Tarasenko and Schwartz here, and now 7 away for the Canes. In for Skinner.
Ken Hitchcock mentioned that a few games ago, that was always a possibility. And looking at Stastny between the two, so this is an opportunity to make that change.
Stastny almost lost it there. Now Skinner back of the goal. And then center, but taken care of by Tarasenko. And he skates away from some pressure. And now goes for another free skate back in his own zone. Canes leading 3-1. Goals from Rask, Skinner, and Eric Stahl. Steen has scored for the Blues. And now Yashkin tips one to the line.
I don't think that pass was meant to be a little chip ahead, though.
And now Gerby comes in and a shot on goal, and a save there by Allen. On in relief of Brian Elliott. Yashkin to center ice. At the line, broken up, and now the youngster Ryan Murphy, their first-round pick in 2011, shoots it down the ice, and that's an icing call against the Hurricanes.
This is just going to end up being one of those grunting and grinding kind of games to get back into it. A bad bank shot there by Gunnarsson leads to a neat little pass there by Skinner, and Tarasenko tries to get it out, and there with one hand on his stick, you can see that the puck is swatted off of the stick of Shattenkirk by Semin, and then it gets a little sloppy inside there.
And the Blues have committed 6 defensive zone turnovers so far in the game. The Hurricanes, none.
Well, look at even the even strength chances in the first period. We've got it marked as 10 for the Carolina Hurricanes. Even strength chances, 10. The Blues are averaging around 10 to 12 in the last half dozen games or so.
And of course, the Blues entering the game had allowed only 4 goals in 3 games and scored 20. And this will be another icing call against Carolina. Well, how does Blues hockey free hot dogs, nachos, popcorn, and soda starting at $39 sound? The Blues introduce all-you-can-eat seats. A limited number are available for the following games, including Tuesday's contest against Edmonton. Visit stlouisblues.com for details.
Funny little side story, this one. You know, Jay McClement and Barrett Jackman, good buddies, went for dinner last night after Jackman beat him to the icing. Jackman said to him, "I'm just a little bit faster than you are there, Jay Bird."
Yeah, of course, Jackman and Jay McClement, great friends over the years. Now the Blues to center. Steen comes in, a shot, and a glove save there by Ward. And then back is pushed out of there by Belmore. And that'll draw a crowd.
And that's kind of sandpaper that's necessary to get things going, and you expect that from the captain. I mean, the one key thing, and David Backes has told me this time and time again, there is a fine line between getting in there and getting involved and then losing composure and taking penalties, seeing red, as he tells me. These are one of these moments, trailing 3-1, things aren't going as planned for the St. Louis Blues, and it's just one of those games where you just got to find a way to grunt through it, put pucks in the right areas of the ice. So you can be sure that he will continue to go to the front of the net. And again, I'm going to reiterate again, those little pucks that are mid-length, mid-waist, you're not going to get a rebound off of Cam Ward with those. He has good hands.
And from the face-off, Gunnarsson pinches in, holds it in. Now Schwartz and Stastny comes in. Oh, Stastny took a shot up high. And then he jabs Jordan Stahl. And Lindholm up the ice for the Hurricanes.
Stastny looked like he's a little stunned by that.
And now it is Gunnarsson for Schwartz. Played on to Shattenkirk. Nice move at the line. He gets free. And tried to make a pass in front. That was blocked. And now Eric Stahl picked off by Schwartz. In the clear. Chest. He scores! Schwartz! It's 3-2.
Well, the All-Star Kevin Shattenkirk had a pretty good chance makes a nice little move to gain the zone, and that was the first opportunity for Jaden Schwartz, who has been darting in and out of traffic in this game. This is the play there by Shattenkirk. He tries to play it across, and it's stopped, but a relentless pursuit of the puck results in the turnover by the Hurricanes in their own zone, and Jaden Schwartz here fakes the shot, gets Cam Ward to go down and bites, nibbles on that one, and he just jams it home through his blocker underneath his stick as Cam Ward is sprawled out.
And he has picked up points in his last 7 games. And that cuts the lead to 3-2. The goal at 4:07. His 14th of the year. Now the Blues into the zone. And Pietrangelo swings wide. And then to Backes, down low for Steen. And he shakes free. And now Bouwmeester for Oshie. He spins around. Oshie, a hard pass. Now checked away from Pietrangelo, flipped in deep by Oshie. And Steen gets it again for the Blues. On the cycle. That pass hit a skate. And then down low Backes. Around to Berglund. Pressure by the Blues. Now Pietrangelo to Backes. And then a shot. They score! Patrick Berglund has tied the game!
Well, Ken Hitchcock swapped up some lines. Schwartz makes it 3-2. Now David Backes, who's been trying to set the tone here after Berglund cycles. A strong side pinch right there by Pietrangelo. Backes with the shot. You can see Steen pushes Murphy out of the way. Keep your eye on his... No, he just lifts up his skate. Just lifts up his skate. The goaltender's screened. Berglund's there on the higher tip, and now Carolina has called a timeout. Well, you know, with the way that the Blues have been performing, that the first period was an aberration. But all that being said, you knew you had a Carolina team, a very, very good coach in Bill Peters, a team now that's getting their healthy players back, coming off a 5-2 win against Buffalo, a 3-2 loss at Nashville, and a 2-1 win at Philadelphia. So we'll keep our eye on Steen. He's inside the blue line, and he's able to come in. As you see him right now in front of the net, Berglund does a great job on the strong side pinch. And here's the quick shot by Berglund. It looked like Backes had originally fired it, and obviously not. Berglund is right behind him with that quick release.
2 goals in 54 seconds. Schwartz from Stastny, and then Berglund from Backes and Pietrangelo at 5:01. And the Blues have tied the game. Now Laterra back in his own zone. He is on with Yashkin and Berglund. And Jackman to center. And then backhanded in deep by Berglund. Laterra crashes down low. And he knocks a man down. Berglund gets the puck. And a shot on goal. And Ward has that one somewhere in his paraphernalia. And we get a stoppage.
Well, you got to be willing to out-battle the opposition defense and goaltender around the blue paint. This National Hockey League isn't a perimeter game. You rarely score goals on the rush, or you rarely score clean shots. And you can see the battle down below. There's 2 Blues players there. Sharp side shot right there by Berglund. So Laterra trying to get to the front of the net. Yashkin's got to get his nose in there, get a little bit dirty, and get into this hockey game.
Again, Berglund from Backes and Pietrangelo. Blues win the faceoff. Gunnarsson to Shattenkirk. And now around for Reeves. That goes down low. Ott lets it go for Lapierre, who is wrapped up by Falk. And then it comes free to this side. Ott trying to get it. Hurricanes with it. Can't clear it. Knocked down in the slot. And it comes around. Kept in by Reeves, now for Lapierre. His pass, intended for Ott, and now Ott cuts in.
Good play by Reeves being the third man high, John. He made this play happen.
And then Ott knocked down in the corner, and then finally Falk to center for Patrick Dwyer. And he goes in on the punt. Again, Shattenkirk, knocked away by Lapierre. And then Jordan Staal in there for Carolina. Now for Brad Malone. And he plays it back, and the Blues tip it down the ice. Cam Ward goes for a skate here.
And Blues able to get wholesale changes right there.
And now Lindholm will kick it back in the corner for Brett Belmore. And then back up the wing, kept in by Bouwmeester. That shot partially blocked. And then down low it is David Backes. Backes on the forecheck for Oshie. And in traffic, can't get a shot through. And then lifted ahead for Lindholm. And the 20-year-old from Sweden a shot. And a glove save by Allen. And we get a stoppage. The Blues come out with a push in the second. They get 2 goals in less than a minute and tie the game at 3.
Well, our Mazda drive to the net here, nearing the midway point of the second period. Stahl has control of the puck, tries to play it in a very dangerous area as he's being hounded by Stastny, and then Pietrangelo takes a nice little feed there. A broken down play ends up right in the net with Steen in front, and those are our Mazda drives to the net as the Blues get back in this game, tied 3-3 now.
2 goals in less than a minute. Blues win the faceoff. Long stretch pass for Tarasenko. And that goes all the way down, and they're going to rule icing call.
Those are tough calls, though, aren't they? I mean, we knew that with the new hybrid icing that there are going to be some testy calls for these linesmen. So Tarasenko is right there, but you can see the face-off win by the Blues, the puck up the ice, and the first pass by Shattenkirk was just fanned on, and that's why the second one was just off the mark, and Gleason is just slightly ahead by a nose, John.
Just by a nose in the Derby. For the Blues, 9-1-1 in their last 11 at home, and Darren, they're averaging 4.5 goals a game. Here's Tarasenko, speaking of goals, and a glove save by Cam Ward.
Another terrific glove save by Cam Ward. He's got that mid-churning, that's for sure. An area that is tough to beat him right there. Tarasenko settles the puck down, lots of speed, has to settle it down. You can't fire it while that puck is wobbling and bobbling like that, and he does so. But boy, did Cam Ward make that look easy. From ice level, John, it's going a little bit faster than what he made it look.
I would say the Blues won 75% of the draws in the first, and a shot by Gunnarsson, and that was tipped and a save by Ward. And now Tarasenko on the wall, broken up by Tulowitzki. Then it rolls to center, pushed back in by Shattenkirk. And Ward sets it up. Now played to Sekera for Nash, and now to center ice for little Nathan Gerbe, who's 5'5", in front of Nash, and a backhander! And that was blocked at the defense by Shattenkirk. And now Shattenkirk back on the goal, and he's bothered back there, and can't move it out. And Tulowitzki spins around in the slot for Nash. Down low on his knee, Shattenkirk plays it around, kept in there by Sekera. In front, and a shot goes high and wide. And now it is Schwartz. Ducks under a check. And the puck finally back to center ice. That forecheck, we saw a lot of that in the first period by the Hurricanes. Now the Blues long stretch pass to Berglund in this 3-3 game. And he is slowed up by McClement. Comes around now for Laterra. And then for Yashkin. And tries to roll away from McClement. Yashkin again out of the corner. On the cycle, Laterra. And then Berglund comes over there. And Berglund away from McClement. He pulls up. Now back to the blue line for Jackman. And fires it back on the goal. Malone there trying to clear it around. Dwyer with it, and he gets it out. And then drilled back in by Berglund. And now Belmore for Hainsey. Center ice picked off by Oshie. Feeds one through. Now Backes down low for Alexander Steen. To the top to Jackman, a shot. And off the leg of Steen. Well, the Blues are buzzing here. Now Steen, he goes out high and can't get much on the shot. That's blocked by Malone. And then McClement at the red line. Can't work it ahead. Oshie there to break it up. Now Oshie gets it in with Backes. Oshie pulls up to Backes at the goal mouth. And he can't get it on goal. And now Steen swings back of the goal for Oshie. In front, off Backes. Back to Oshie, back to the blue line. Oshie again. Great pass, Pietrangelo.
Oh, what a play.
And one too many passes
Lindsay, too. He just read that at the last second at the tip of his blade on that, and he is completely out of gas.
And now Eric Stahl after it against Bouwmeester.
That's a fantastic shift by the Backus line.
And now it is Jordan Stahl to the back. That shot blocked. Oh, she got in the way. And then brushed along by Lindholm. The Stahl's out there with Lindholm. Past the midway point of the second. Ooh, good move back to the goal by Jordan Stahl. Now Sekera the drive. Pat saved by Allen with the left leg. And Steve Ott powers into the zone. He funnels that around the boards. Lapierre left it. Reeves a shot on goal. And a save by Ward. And the Blues pick up the forecheck again. It's Lapierre. And now Schwartz on the ice. And the Hurricanes break it up and now to center ice. Tipped out of midair by Carl Gunnarsson. And a cutting Schwartz now plays it around for Shattenkirk. Up the middle, tipped along by Reeves. Handled by Ward, now for Falk. Well, Schwartz almost stole it again there. And here comes Raskin for the Hurricanes. Rask a shot on goal and a save by Allen. And the Hurricanes play it over the glass. And out of play. Oh, she's got the hands, he's got the brain, and he's got those eyes.
Hitch has said before the game that it was important to create an edge against a team that you have no familiarity with. I guess trailing 3-1 created that edge for you?
Oh, just the way we were playing created it, Panger. We weren't checking. We're a little bit better now, so we're starting to control the puck in the offensive zone. We're creating turnovers, but we're not where we were. We got to keep pushing it forward, see if we can. The harder we check, the more chances we get. We got to keep buying into that.
Thanks, Hitch.
Coach Hitchcock going for win number 150 behind the Blues bench tonight. Off the face-off, Skinner. 1-1 to the corner. Now it is Shattenkirk back defensively. A pass up the middle, picked off, and kept in by Murphy. Shots 8-5 for the Blues here in this second period. And they have scored 2 goals to tie the game. Back on the line, and a shot from well up by Gleason off the target. And now Alexander Semin gets it for the Hurricanes. He has had 1 goal all year. A real struggle for Semin. Now the Hurricanes almost run into each other at center. Skinner gets it and lobs it back of the Blues goal. Now Gunnarsson with lots of room to center ice. In for Schwartz, and that play is offside. Well, the Cards will kick off winter warm-up with the first ever Hot Stove Live event Friday at Ballpark Village. Jason Hayward will appear along with Mike Matheny and Colton Wong. It's open to the public, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Midwest. Hot Stove Live Friday night at Ballpark Village and on Fox Sports Midwest. And the Backus line back out for the Blues. Against Nash, Derby, and Talusti. And now Butler lost it, gets it back to his partner Jackman. And Jackman across the red line. In deep it goes. Sekera back of the goal for Falk. Up the middle now for Nash. Cut off there by Steen. Here's Oshie a drive, and that's off a leg. And that goes out of play.
Now good pressure there on the defenseman. Sekera had a good fine couple of seasons here with the Carolina Hurricanes. That's the same area that Stastny put pressure on Stahl that resulted in the Schwartz goal to start this game in the second period. And a little stick on puck there by the defenseman Falk, and that puck goes out of play.
And the faceoff won by the Canes. And Lindholm up the middle. Now he gets to the corner. Against Steen. Trying to move it away from the corner. Eric Stahl down there. Now in front, and that goes right by his brother Jordan's stick and into Hurricane ice. Now Falk long stretch pass to Lindholm. Blues stand up at the line. Now it's brought in by Sekera, and he blows a tire on the far side. And the Blues quickly back to center ice, 3-on-2. Here's Steen. Gets it toward the goal, and a good back check there by the captain, Eric Stahl. And now a pass ahead to McClement. He comes in, and a backhander and a glove save by Allen. And he has that in the mitt.
Now you could hear Coach Ken Hitchcock saying, keep coming, keep coming. Needed some backside pressure against that rush. Jay McClement ends up going to his backhand after Eric Stahl did a tremendous job of reloading and getting back to his own zone, breaking up that play, and there from a sharp angle. There's not much there for Jay McClement to get to obviously beyond the goaltender, but also with Pietrangelo right there, close to getting stick on puck. No angle at all, being pushed to the outside.
And off the face-off, it comes to Semin. And a shot was nowhere near the goal. And maybe that's the reason he's only had one goal this year. He has really struggled.
He's a frustrating individual. I'd asked about Tarasenko today, though. He said he really enjoyed playing with Tarasenko in the Olympics last year representing Russia.
At times, Semin's been a healthy scratch.
Yes, he has.
Now the Hurricanes with it.
It's a tough message to send a guy that's making $7 million under the former general manager, Jimmy Rutherford, signed him to that deal. And now you've got a new coach in Bill Peters, new general manager Ronnie Francis. You've got Rod Brindamore on the bench. He works the forwards, and Steve Smith on the blue line. So wholesale changes all the way around. And now, the message has to come to a player making that much money and that much talent that it's not enough. But he has been like that pretty much throughout his NHL career.
And Semin is still owed $21 million on that 5-year deal. Now Jackman a hit in the corner. Puck not cleared. Murphy a shot off a skate. And then a rebound attempt of Malone. And a pad save there by Allen. Brad Malone.
And then a turnover.
Those don't clear it. Now Butler up the boards to Yashkin. And again a big traffic jam on the far side. And finally knocked away by Patrick Berglund. Brad Malone, former teammates of T.J. Oshie at North Dakota. And a shot on goal by Gerby. Now Nash to the corner. Gerby a pass in front. And then a shot off the goalpost and then off Allen in the goal. And the Hurricanes take a 4-3 lead.
Toulouse on the doorstep. And the Hurricanes.
It looks like Toulouse will get the goal. It hit the goalpost and then caromed off the back of Allen. And the Hurricanes back on top. It's 4-3. As the puck comes in front, Gerby a shot. And Toulouse, I think the puck might have been in before Toulouse got there. We'll have to wait for the official announcement as Nash lets it go. And I think he's going to get the goal. I think that was in before Toulouse got there. Now the Blues at the line. They get in the zone. Tarasenko checked. And Eric Stahl back the other way. In this seesaw game. Hurricanes back on top. And now Schwartz. And that pass bounces over the stick of Pietrangelo. With 4.5 to play in the second period. Long stretch pass. Stastny gets in deep for the Blues. Now, worked along by Jordan Stahl. The referee goes down there. That is Ron Martell. He gets up. And it appears to be okay. Nash does get the goal for Carolina. His 7th of the year. Gerby and Gleason get the assists. And now Falk gets it for Carolina. He comes in a shot. That's off the stick of Gunnarsson into the netting. So Riley Nash, who had a goal the other night against Buffalo, has one here. It's 4-3 Carolina.
Well, relentless pursuit of the puck there by the Gerby line as this puck is up in the air, and now it's a bouncing puck. Laterra swats it, everybody swats it, but it's rolling there, and we stop it here for a second. You can see it's rolling. His hand goes up, and that's the reason. He's expecting that puck to go high because it's being swatted at by Nash, and his hand goes up. The puck goes right between kind of his thigh and the bottom part of his glove. It's a natural reaction to think that it's going to come faster, but it's a knuckler.
So Riley Nash out of Cornell gives the Hurricanes a 4-3 lead on a bit of a change-up goal there.
A little bit of a knuckler.
Well, Shattenkirk to Gunnarsson. Now Steen, rink-wide feed, and here's Shattenkirk. Into the zone. Drops it off. Back as a shot. And a blocker save by Ward. And then Oshie works it down the boards against Rask. Steen back of the goal. And he is nudged by Falk. Steen still with it for the Blues. Gets it free to Oshie. Back to Shattenkirk. All the way back of the goal. Tipped by Backes to Steen. In front. Now Gunnar sent a drive. And that goes wide. And then Backes. Oh, he went to the point. But Shattenkirk had moved in. And a penalty called here against the Blues, I believe. And now Backes throws the gloves down. At least attempts to against Hainsey.
Originally, Backes was tripped and by Skinner, and he takes exception to Skinner and shoves him. Hainsey comes in, and David Backes has got every limb flaring every which way, but Friday protecting his space. He's the only one that's going to go off. The original frustration was born out of the trip that he had at the blue line. He also tried to punch that off the boards to go to Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk, though, was coming in on the inside. So there's he and Hainsey right there. Oh, and goes down on that play there, awkwardly. He's trying to brace himself off it, and Ron Hainsey just spun off him.
And a tripping call against Backes. The Hurricanes get their first power play of the night. And their power play is ranked 17th, just over 18%. The Blues have killed 18 of the last 19 over 6 games.
I know we're talking an awful lot about the power play, but the penalty kill has been exceptional right now for the Blues. And it's gone from 23rd overall in the NHL to 18th.
Yeah, just about 80% on the kill. Now Falk down the boards for Lindholm. Eric Stahl back to the blue line for Falk. Trying to hit Eric Stahl again. Now younger brother Jordan comes over there. Back on the line. Here's Rask in front, tipped away by Bouwmeester. And then gathered in by Lapierre, and he fires it down the ice. And 2 minutes left here in the second period. Dogged work back of the goal by Steen, and he draws a penalty against Falk.
Yeah, the All-Star Falk went to the Olympics last year for Team USA. He gets tangled up with Steen behind the net. That's just a great pursuit of the puck on the penalty kill by Alexander Steen.
Minor for interference.
Calling an interference call, and you can see the work, the dogged determination cutting on the inside by Steen, and now the stick of Falk is caught in between. It's between the legs right there, and he corkscrews Steen, so it could very well have been a tripping call rather than an interference call, but interference call made because the puck then was not anywhere near the two players.
So we'll go 4-on-4 for 64 seconds, and then the Blues will get their second power play. Off the face-off, here's Schwartz out of the corner. Does a spinorama, now to the slot. He's wide open, back door. What a save on Stastny by Ward! His best stop tonight. What a setup by Schwartz. And now the Hurricanes get it back.
Oh, Schwartz just buzzes on that far side, on my right side, opposite to you, John, and that was just a quick little up that he made. What a terrific play.
And how did Ward stop Stastny? Now Pietrangelo. And he gets off the boards. Blues are changing off the boards, or the bench rather, Tarasenko to the net, and that shot goes wide. And now Tarasenko trips the Hurricane player. And Murphy goes down, he gets up. And then a diving play by Tarasenko. And now they make the call.
"11 seconds left in David Backes' minor. Minute 8 left
St.
in
Louis
Falk's.
penalty number 91, minor penalty for tripping.
And on the pursuit of the puck, he's behind the play, and he ends up tripping up. That's that save that you're talking about here. Terrific play going back against the grain by Schwartz over to Stastny, the left-hand shot, and he just can't raise it over that pad. 12 inches higher, 1 inch higher than that, and it's in the net.
And the Hurricanes will get a 4-on-3 for 11 seconds. Blues win the face-off, though, and shot down the ice by Pietrangelo. With a minute to go in the second period. Now Hainsey to center ice. The Blues get Backes back, so we go to 4-on-4 again. Hurricanes drop it back for Sekera. He cuts in a shot. Hit his own man in the back. And that was 7. And then rifled in by Bouwmeester. Now Pietrangelo on the forecheck. Knocked down by Sekera. Fangiel, but no call. And then kept in the zone by Oshie. And then played to the far side for Hainsey. Back to Sekera. And now Hainsey has it again. Pass to center, picked off by Shattenkirk. And then lob to the Blues line. Skinner is there. Now Oshie knocked down, no call. Fangiel, play continues. And the Blues go offside with 5.3 seconds left in the period.
Frustrating final 3 or 4 sequences here for the Blues as we take a look at our Plaza Tire Service shot comparison. There's Riley Nash. He's got a goal on that flutter right there. 3 total attempts against Jaden Schwartz, who is buzzing.
And 5 to go in the period. And the faceoff controlled by the Blues. Gunnarsson, a bouncer wide, and that will do it. The end of 2 in St. Louis. Well, the Blues had tied the game, but that late goal by Nash, and the Hurricanes with a 4-3 lead in this seesaw game. Let's go to Pat and Bernie.
John Kelly, thank you very much. See Ken Hitchcock leaving the bench. Bernie, ironically, the Blues had tied the game and looked like they had better the play. Then Darren Pang interviewed Ken Hitchcock during a timeout, and suddenly it went back the other way. It's just one of those things where you got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah, they're getting better. I mean, they were down by 2 goals to start the period. Now they're only down by 1. So they did regroup in that second period. I thought they had the better of the chances. They really started forechecking, and that's how you beat any team. But again, the Carolina Hurricanes are not going to go away. They've got excellent goaltending from Ward, so it's going to be a battle here this third period, and hopefully the Blues can get at least 1.
At least 1, and maybe goal extra, but we'll like to do it in regulation is what we'd like to see have happen for the Blues. Coming up, the Jack in the Box intermission report, as you see some of the great action from the second period. Blues trail 4-3 against the Canes.
Canes lead 4-3 as we get set for the third period. Of course, earlier today it was announced that Vladimir Tarasenko and Kevin Shattenkirk will go to the All-Star game, and earlier today, Tarasenko talked about his selection.
I was really excited, and I'm really happy for Kevin Shattenkirk to be there too with me, because we was roommates my first year here, and we're really good friends. But I want to say thanks for support and help for my teammates and for fans, for everybody here. I'm really proud to be there.
Some very nice comments from Vladimir Tarasenko, and we're so happy for both Tarasenko and Shattenkirk.
Yeah, it really shows the kind of person that Vladdy is. You know, he's obviously, you thank so many guys that get you to that position. Obviously playing in the Olympics last year was special, but he's a fine representative of the St. Louis Blues and the city of St. Louis.
Underway in the third period, as the Hurricanes are now on a brief power play for 45 seconds. As Falk gets to center ice, drops it off to Rask, and then moved in deep by Lindholm. And the Swede plays it around for Jordan Staal, stolen, and here's Steen, a short-handed breakaway with Backes, and a shot by Steen, and that goes wide as he tried to beat Ward on the glove side. And now the puck taken by the Hurricanes. Eric Staal to center for Lindholm. Down low to Jordan Staal, in front to Eric, and a stick there tipped it before Eric Staal could get it. And the puck now back to the left point for Falk.
Yeah, that was a good stick again by Pietrangelo defensively.
And now the Hurricanes. Falk at the point, can't hold it in. Tarasenko is back. No shots on that power play. The Hurricanes now 0 for 2. And Rask up the middle. That's poked away by Stastny.
Now see if Stastny, Tarasenko, and Schwartz can get something going here in this third.
Here they come. The pass to the corner for Tarasenko. And then a shot, hit a leg in front. And is covered by the glove of Cam Ward.
Quick little pass by Stastny as they entered the zone. He put it back to his right, and he had two players, Tarasenko and Schwartz, right there. By the time Tarasenko got this puck, he curls back up. He's looking for the point man, Shattenkirk. His second option is going to be the opposite side, Gunnarsson. Those were not available, so he fires it at the net. Schwartz is in the blue paint right there. It rattles off of the skates of the centerman, Nash, and innocently right there in front of the goaltender.
Blues get it back. Shattenkirk, a shot and a glove save. Again, Darren, while we have a moment, we want to wish Dr. Aaron Birnbaum a get well quick. He suffered a fall the other day, and he is the longtime team doctor, one of the real good guys as far as the St. Louis Blues organization. Get well, Dr. Birnbaum. We're missing you here tonight.
Absolutely. And also, happy 10th birthday to Gracie Kerber as well. She's here, big Oshie fan. Chris Kerber, the longtime voice of the St. Louis Blues on the radio side on KMOX.
Happy birthday, Gracie. Now Stastny. And then back to the goal. Jamie Clement trying to step up. And the former second rounder of the Blues gets the puck in deep. And he goes after it against Shattenkirk. Now tipped along by Tarasenko. And then Schwartz up the ice. He delays a bit. Schwartz trying to make a play to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson a drive. That goes wide. It came in front of Tarasenko, had it, but it was covered by Ward.
Good walk in the line there by Gunnarsson. Gets himself into the middle of the ice. After it rattles off the end boards there, you can see the paddle down of the goaltender. Good entry into the zone and phenomenal patience shown by Schwartz, who has been a sharp player in this game. Watch the paddle of the stick as Tarasenko goes forehand, backhand, and he can't get the backhand part of his blade on it to elevate it over top of the sprawling goaltender Ward.
And now the face-off controlled by the Hurricanes. Carolina 9-2-2 and leading after two. The Blues are 4-7 when trailing. Now Bear Jackman in the corner. To Laterra. That is broken up by Riley Nash. And the Hurricanes on the cycle. Talusti for Nash, back of the goal. Slowed up by Laterra. And now the Blues with Butler up the boards to Berglund. Laterra was put on this Berglund and Yashkin line midway through this game.
Yeah, after that first period, you can tell the players trailing 3-1 needed to find something to get back into this. They needed a little bit of sandpaper. They needed a little bit of gumption to get back into it. They did so. Got it to 3-3. Once the game goes to 3-3, after Brian Elliott is pulled, then it becomes Jake Allen's game. So it's in the hands now of Jake Allen, trailing by 1, in case you're new to the game of hockey. Alexander Steen, in the meantime, shorthanded, pinches the puck away from the defenseman right there, Falk, after Stahl had lost it. Oh, and he really does pull this. I thought from my angle, John Kelly was a little bit closer, but clearly there, it was a good 1.5 feet there wide on the glove side.
Steen had the Blues' first goal tonight. And the face-off is, we'll do it again as they rule that somebody jumped there, but Clement against Steen, former teammates.
Yeah, well, 1 point they were part of the gray line.
Yes, under Andy Murray.
Yeah.
And the Blues win this face-off. Steen gets free, back for Bomeister. And makes the safe play in behind the goal. Now Steen trying to get it free along with Backes. And now Malone down low. He wears 24. I mentioned he's former teammates of Oshie.
Oshie had a little toe pick right there. Yeah. Went right into the boards. Not the boards, the net, excuse me.
Malone is actually dating Oshie's fiance, sister, Allie Cosgrove. So they have something in common. They're dating sisters. Although Oshie's going to get married this summer to Lauren Cosgrove. Now Tarasenko, and we get a penalty here. And I think it's against the Blues for high sticking.
And it is against the aforementioned Malone. And look at Pietrangelo looking at him like nothing happened right there. Malone's wiping his lips there to try to find some blood, but he's looking at it, and referee Steve Kozari says no.
St. Louis 27, minor penalty, high stick.
right inside the blue line. You can see it looked to me like Pietrangelo was lifting up the stick there of Malone. As he lifts up the stick, he's trying to buy time for Tarasenko. Smart play. As he lifts up the stick, it's Malone's own stick that clips him in the mouth.
And the Hurricanes 0 for 2 with 6 shots. Or no shots, pardon me. Now Falk gets it. And a cross and a drive goes wide of the goal. Now Eric Stahl back for Falk. One-timer again. And Allen got over and made the save on Rask.
Saw that the whole way. I mean, that's a little umbrella right there, a left-hand shot. Not a wicked shot by Victor Rask, so it allows the goaltender to push off to his right, over to his left, pass by Falk, and you can see there's no traffic there. The timing of the sequence for the Carolina Hurricanes, not good enough, as you see Shattenkirk boxes out Lindholm there. No screen, no problem in that situation.
And the face-off won by Stastny. Now Jordan Stahl gets it back. Now across the Falk. Rink-wide feed for Lindholm. And then Rask dances at the line. Pass through a seam. Good stick there by Oshie. Now Falk with it for the Hurricanes. And a shot. And a save by Allen. The rebound in front. Oshie with it. Tried to dangle around Falk. He couldn't get around him. And then Eric Stahl back to the top. And it's off the stick of Rask. And Oshie away for the Blues. And a good stick by Rask to swat it to the corner. Then Oshie knocks Rask down with a heavy hit.
But you're right about the defensive play by Rask. That was a good stick because Oshie had a step on him.
Now Gerby comes in. Talusti, the late man, a shot. And that goes wide off the boards. With a minute to go in the power play, Steen will rip it down the ice.
And only one referee to begin this third period. Kozari's the lone referee. Martel, remember he had that collision in the second period down to my right in the corner. And the doctors are attending to him here downstairs. So one referee, 2 linesmen. Old school.
Old school hockey here.
The old 21-team league.
Shattenkirk picks an opening. And that goes the length. 30 seconds left in Petrangelo's minor. And the Canes to center ice. They lead 4-3.
Oh, now Gunnarsson doesn't have a stick.
And it is Gerby coming in. Gerby to the back. Now off the skate of Ryan Murphy.
That was a bad pass by Skinner there.
And a shot hit the leg of Gunnarsson. And then Ott wins a battle, and he gets it off the boards to center ice.
And that allows Gunnarsson to get a stick there from Joel Farnsworth on the bench. It was Skinner that knocked the stick out of his hand originally.
And now the Blues back at full strength. The Hurricanes had 3 shots on that power play. And Schwartz to the corner for Bouwmeester. Nice pass to center ice. Here is Pietrangelo. And it gets to the Hurricane line, and then a long pass off the stick of McClement, and this goes deep. And Shattenkirk quickly around the boards to Schwartz. And a hard chip out, taken by the Blues, Stastny. And he drops it off to Jackman, and it's by him, the center. Delayed offside.
Oh, smart play. Schwartz doesn't touch it.
And now Semin pokes the puck in. And in a battle against Barrett Jackman. And Jackman gets free and feeds one back of the goal to Shattenkirk. Long stretch pass for Tarasenko. He gets around his man. Tarasenko in a goal. Rebound. He scores! Unbelievable!
And this place erupts. Kid's going to his first of, I'm sure, many All-Star games, and he bangs home his 23rd goal. Half of his goals have either given the Blues the lead or tied the game so far this year. A stutter step. Oh boy, does he give Gleason the 9 of hearts with that little stutter step maneuver. We saw that in the game against Dallas earlier in the year. First shot stopped, rebounds there, and he chunks it underneath the bar and home.
And he ties the game at 6:46.
That little change of pace, boy, that's deceptive, isn't it?
Is it ever? Just ask Tim Gleason. His first goal in 6 games. It's a beauty, and it's tied at 4. 6-7 ahead of the Blues pending the outcome of this game. Tarasenko, the game-tying goal from Shattenkirk and Jackman at 6:46.
28 wins midway through the season. The most I had in a year with my career. I mean, my career was 27. That's a heck of a bounce back from an injury year.
And a team that missed the playoffs last year.
You know, the head coach, Bill Peters here of Carolina, said so far that's been the toughest team that the Carolina Hurricanes have faced this season. Great compliment to Nashville and what Peter Laviolette's doing.
Is it ever? As the puck is tipped in by Lindholm. Now the Blues get it. Steen trying to roll away from Sekera. At the line, good stick by Pietrangelo. And now he goes for a skate back in his own zone.
You got to wonder if Steve Kozari's out of gas yet. You got to cover a lot more area of the ice with one official rather than two.
You've got to be smarter on the ice. Know your positioning. Now Sekera. And then for Falk. He goes to the All-Star game representing Carolina. Now the Blues the other way. Up the middle for Jaden Schwartz. Great drop pass. Tarasenko fires it off the glove of Ward. What a pass by Schwartz. And now Tarasenko back on the goal. He knocks it away from the Hurricanes in front. And Schwartz had it but couldn't get it on goal.
Well, you know, through all this game that has not been typical the way the Blues play, you got to give a lot of credit to Schwartz. I think he's been real sharp and on top of it. Now he enters the zone like that. The Carolina Hurricanes back off a little bit. That little bit of time and space allows Schwartz fancy little drop pass to Tarasenko.
Now Rask in on the forecheck, number 49. And he is leveled by Shattenkirk. And tipped to center out of the reach of Reeves. Here's Gleason to pass. That is cut off by Ott. It'll jam it in behind the net. And now Gleason to his partner Ryan Murphy. Lapierre, a good stick there, and the puck goes out of play at the Hurricane bench.
Reeves getting close to Gleason over there as well after that play goes out. There's the pass by Stastny right on the tape, and Schwartz draws two towards him, and it allows Tarasenko to gain the zone. And after he rifles this one, he's still trying to go high to the glove side there, but great positioning by Cam Ward. About 2 feet outside of the blue paint, cutting down the angle, taking away any percentage whatsoever from the quick shooting Vladdy Tarasenko.
Third in goals. Yeah, and only 3 behind the leader, Tyler Seguin. And the Blues with the Backus line back on the ice. They control the faceoff. Pietrangelo funnels one behind the goal. Falk there had his pocket picked by Steen. It comes in front. Good stick there by Ward. And now Oshie with it for the Blues. To Pietrangelo, a right pad save by Ward. And the Hurricanes get the puck out. And then lobbed in by Backus.
Yeah, keep that puck going north as much as possible.
And the Hurricanes to center. Now a pass ahead to Malone. Pietrangelo steps up and he gets it back. And he darts around Ron Hainsey. To the corner with Yashkin. But now Dwyer with it. He lost it in a shot up high by Yashkin and a save by Ward. Oh, Shattenkirk and Tarasenko are all-stars. The Blues scored 20 goals in the last 3 games. You got to be here. Stretch run packs are on sale right now. Packs start with as few as 7 games for as low as $26 per game and include Tarasenko bobblehead night on March 12th. You also get playoff purchase priority. Again, stretch run packs are on sale now. Buy yours at stlouisblues.com/stretchrun. You've got to be here. What a great atmosphere here tonight. A sellout crowd. As the Blues continue their season-long 7-game homestand. Montero was knocked down. No call by the referee. Steve Kozari. And it rolls back down the ice. Now it comes to Toulouse. He drops it off for Gleason. And then down the wall at 7. It was dodged by Butler.
Yeah, good play there by Butler one-on-one.
And then Yashkin protects the puck very well.
Yeah, this game started with that funny bounce off Butler's skate right between Elliott's legs. Just been one of those games.
Now Yashkin doesn't get the puck down deep in the Hurricane zone. Jackman the center for Tarasenko. He is bodied off the puck by Hainsey. And here come the Hurricanes into the zone. Rask with it. And he fans on the shot. Rask to the line. And a high wrist shot by Bellemore. That hits the glass. Now in front, Skinner. Rebound. Oh, Allen got over. It made the second save on Rask after Skinner had the first chance. And the game remains tied at 4. And the Blues to center. Tarasenko for Stastny. To Schwartz. To Gunnarsson. And the shot was blocked. Oh, and then Tarasenko drops it back. And Rask to center ice.
Oh, Schwartz has a chance just to fire that one right there. He tried a little spinorama backhand play instead of firing it at the net. But you want to save the game. It doesn't matter what the score is. You still have to be sharp and make those timely momentum-gaining saves. That was the one for Jake Allen. His best of the night.
And it looked like 2 there, Darren. Right on the doorstep.
I was screened on the one. I could see the second one there as the players to my right stood up. You see Allen behind the net. He doesn't see it. He's looking one way. He gets very fortunate with the first one on Skinner, but it's the second one there as Rask puts it kind of closer towards the middle of the net instead of on the short side. Allen doesn't extend that left leg all the way, but he gets it right in the middle of it. That Victor Rask has been a very good player here. It was when Rod Brind'Amour looked at the draft, the kid from the Western Hockey League, Rod Brind'Amour thought he reminded him a little bit of Ron Francis for his diligent two-way play.
Yeah.
So far, he's been impressive.
A Swede out of the Western Hockey League. Now Jamie Clement. And the Clement worked to the corner and worked over by Pietrangelo. Now he gets it from Malone. Up the middle, slowed up. McClement has it again. Tight angle, in front, and Allen got over and made the save. And it's loose back of the goal. Here's Dwyer with it in this 4-4 game. Back to Gleason. And he can't get a shot in. Lapierre muscles the puck to center ice. And then lob back in by Murphy. Shattenkirk, what a little head fake move in the corner away from Gleason.
Elusive, isn't he?
Now Steen, he's elusive, into the wing, a drive, and a save by Ward with his right pad. And then Backes after it. Just Steen down low. Everyone's covered in front. And then Murphy, a good job on Steen to knock him down. And the puck trickles to center ice. Now Shattenkirk ahead. Swatted in by Oshie. Shots in this period, 8-8. And 31-27 for the Blues for the game. Falk to center ice to Eric Staal. Then to Lindholm. Now Stastny back of the goal. Here's Shattenkirk. And his pass hit a stick, stays in the zone. Now Shattenkirk again. To Yashkin off the boards and out. Fever pitch here on the ice now. Up and down we go. And that's tipped in deep by Eric Staal. Jackman and Pietrangelo back of the goal. Pietrangelo around the wall for Oshie. And that's a little high hoister with some backspin. It would have been on goal, so no icing. And now Bellemore to center ice. And Pietrangelo there. Now it's kept in. Bellemore with it. A shot tipped wide by Tolosti. And that was a dangerous play.
And Pietrangelo is playing it up to the left side, but there's no winger there.
And Schwartz the other way. And a nice stick-handling move there. Tarasenko wide open in front. Backhander. Save. It's behind Ward and knocked to the corner. And a big scramble. Tarasenko fires it off a leg, and it's back to center ice. What action here in Scottrade. And Bouwmeester, a little spin move back of his own goal. Up the middle, intended for Tarasenko. He tied the game at 6:46 of this third period. Now Steen to the line. Gunnarsson can't get over quick enough to hold it in. And now the Blues tag up.
Well, good effort again by Schwartz driving hard to the net. And Cam Ward does whatever it takes to keep that puck out of the net. Tarasenko has a chance after and it gets blocked, which we don't see often with that wicked wrister of his.
Now Jordan Staal around to his brother. Eric to Falk, a drive blocked by Backes. And off his leg to center ice.
He got those big boots in the way, didn't he?
Tipped at center. Here's Oshie stealing the puck. He comes in. Oshie a shot. And he broke his stick. And didn't get a lot on it as Ward makes the save. And now Sekera, long feed to center ice.
Oh, good job by Gunnarsson taking away the red line on Staal.
And the Blues have possession. Shattenkirk He looks ahead. Lapierre up the middle. Off his stick. Dwyer gets it back for Carolina. And they go after into the blue zone. But Ryan Reeves the other way. Look out! Reeves had a man coming right at him, but he saw him at the last second.
He was barreling down with his head down. Didn't see him at all.
And now it's Bouwmeester. Ward back of the goal to play it. Nice play on the wall from Malone. And the Hurricanes tic-tac-toe to center ice. And Jay McClement flips it in. And he goes to the boards. Now around to Dwyer. Watched by Pietrangelo. For McClement. And back on the line. Falk. Across. Dwyer shot. Off the boards in front. Now McClement back of the goal. And he's playing a strong game against his former club. And now in front, Gerby in the goal crease. And Allen gets down and makes a couple of saves on Dwyer. And also Gerby. And it's still 4-4 with 4:04 to go in the third.
Well, Vladdy Tarasenko really wanted to take a look at that backhand chance that he had earlier on. But we've got now for our dirt cheap snapshot of the game as the St. Louis Blues say good luck to Runner. And obviously the Blues are very supportive of everything that go along outside the game of hockey to lend their support. Doing that, sticking together.
.404 left. We just had a stretch of 4 minutes and 32 seconds between whistles. Just great up and down action. As Rask lobs one to the corner.
Well, and then they play Sweet Caroline here.
Your favorite song, Neil Diamond.
I got all the momentum in the world with Sweet Caroline going on now.
Here's Falk, a pass. Off the mark. Oshie with it. He'll tip one deep. And hunts it down back to the goal. Leaves it for Steen. Steen off the wall and a shot, and he missed high. What a play. And now Laterra in the corner.
Yeah, Steen's had a strong game as well.
And Laterra gets free. Gets a little pick there from Steen. Now hook back to Steen. Blues are making a change here. Berglund on the ice. Berglund in the slot. Fires it right on goal. And a save by Ward.
Oh, good patience shown there. With TJ Oshie coming off for a change, Patrick Berglund jumps off. So there's no way that the Carolina Hurricanes can see him. There he is in the middle of the ice. It looked originally like Steen was looking towards the left defenseman, Jackman, but then Berglund's right there. Steen waited for as long as he could, knowing that Carolina didn't read that line change there. Right in the wheelhouse, but he got him right in the belly.
With Laterra right in front. And now the Blues win the faceoff. Here's Berglund around the goal. And he is muscled off the puck by Brett Belmore. And this goes all the way down. And now they're going to say Pietrangelo could have played it the last second.
Oh, I'm surprising call right there.
Yeah, normally you get to the dots and they blow the whistle. And now it's Bouwmeester with under 3 to play in regulation time. Blues and Hurricanes tied at 4. Bouwmeester in for Tarasenko. Makes a move. Then a shot. And a save by Ward. Another little head fake move by Tarasenko. And then Pietrangelo at the line. He can't get it deep.
Yeah, he kind of double clutched on that a little bit.
Now Falk ahead. Here's Jordan Staal for Eric. Eric Staal lets it go. And a save by Allen with his right arm on a dangerous play there.
Well, now we've got ourselves a hockey game, and our Nissan.com checks of the game. We've got a plethora to show you. Staal actually elbows Stastny right in the chops on that one. And there Gerby's going down. Jackman rolls on top of him. Wow, this place is going nuts.
Stastny on the faceoff against Jordan Staal with 2:27 left in a 4-4 game. And Stastny wins a big faceoff, and Bouwmeester, who's +4 tonight, back of the goal. Can't move it. Now it's back of the net again. Pietrangelo helps out and gets it by Jordan Staal. And Steen out of the zone for Pietrangelo. And he was slowed up at the line by Sekera, and the play is offside.
Well, I said earlier that Tarasenko was right to my right here trying to look at one of the monitors. This was the play he was looking at here. On the forehand to the backhand and tries to get it beyond the goaltender, who ends up doing a two-pad stack. Shortly after that, his next shift, another slight delay that he makes there on Belmore, creates a better scoring angle and another good opportunity.
And the Blues control the face-off. Gunnarsson and off the boards and out. And Darren, this is a case where these clubs, of course, don't see each other too often, only twice a year. So, you know, a lot of these Hurricane defensemen, they don't know the moves that Tarasenko has.
Nope. You can watch as many clips as the coaches will feed you on the great systems that all these teams have. You watch it on an iPad. You look at the one-on-ones. You can watch them, you know, but when you're on the ice, you then understand the shiftiness that he has. For a guy that's 220 pounds, he's got 2 and 3 gears to him.
Under 2 to play here. Now the Blues with it. Schwartz. And then Tarasenko, he gets in there, but the Blues have to delay. Now Tarasenko clears the zone and then wrists it around the boards. Stastny is after it. And then played by the Hurricanes. This should be an icing call. And it will be. And, of course, Missouri Lottery Blues Live is coming up next following this one as the Blues and Hurricanes battle here at Scottrade.
Well, the All-Star Vladdy Tarasenko in our Plaza Tire Service shot comparison, 8 shots on goal, 1 missed, and 9 total against Eric Staal, the captain.
With 90 seconds left in the third period, Oshie pass blocked, and now Victor Rask the other way for the Hurricanes. In with Skinner.
Boy.
And the Blues give him plenty of room here.
Do they ever?
And then Bouwmeester finally jumps up and forces him back to center ice.
I think he was even surprised by it. Kept stick handling. He gained a foot, gained another foot. Next thing you know, he's nearly the top of the circles right there.
And now it is Falk. And the U.S. Olympian gets it in behind the Blues goal. Played around by Bouwmeester. In the final minute here of the third, Ott gets it down the ice. Handled by Sekera. Long stretch pass tipped by Gerby into the middle and broken up by Shattenkirk. And he gets to the line and deals one back of the goal. Now Ward for Sekera. All the way around the boards for Lindholm. That's kept in by Jackman for the moment. But now it's Falk again. And off Jackman's stick in behind the Blues goal. Look out. Oh, Jackman can't move it.
Oh, no.
But Shattenkirk there to help out.
Good second effort there by Jackman. And no call on the play.
And then Jori Lehtera with some good defensive work. And a risky pass. Shattenkirk there trying to get away from Eric Staal.
That's where the forwards cannot afford to bail out of the zone.
Now Eric Staal with it. Backdoor feed to Hainsey. And it was too high. Now Hainsey again. Pass tipped in front. And the horn sounds. And we will go to overtime.
Oh, well, the game has certainly picked up. If only it started the way the third period started. 4-4 game. Tarasenko ties it with his 23rd goal of the year. His all-star mate, Kevin Shattenkirk, has the assist.
Overtime is brought to you by JimButlerChevrolet.com. St. Louis's top-selling Chevy dealer, because they do the deals the other guys just won't. Jim Butler is the Chevy powerhouse.
And it has been a powerhouse type of third period here. Utter desperation shown by the Blues, trailing 3-1 in the game, trailing 4-3 after 40, and then Tarasenko tying it at 4-4. Carolina 3 for 4. They've been involved in 20 one-goal losses, if you don't include empty net goals.
And you saw the numbers sponsored by JimButlerChevrolet.com. The Blues 6-3 in overtime, and the Canes are 3-4. Teams switch ends and go 4-on-4. It is Backes and Steen up front with Shattenkirk and Gunnarsson on defense. Nash and Gerby are the forwards for the Hurricanes. And here comes the diminutive Gerby.
Yeah, great play by Shattenkirk though to cut the ice in half and take away any space from Gerby.
And now Steen drops it back to Shattenkirk. Tarasenko tied the game. Wouldn't it be something if his buddy Shattenkirk could win it here? The two All-Star representatives.
Quite a day for both of them. And I think neither one of them started this game like we've seen them play. And you could well understand that. But as the game's gone on, they've both become significant players in this contest.
Now it's Sekera up the ice for the Hurricanes. Dropped off. Look out. Backhander by Skinner. And that was too high. Hits the glass. It goes out of play.
Well, Jeff Skinner's got some slick hands. There's no question about that. The former Rookie of the Year in the National Hockey League takes it from the forehand to the backhand quickly. But Jay Bouwmeester, as you mentioned, he is +4 in this game, playing his best hockey of the season. And great stick-on-puck defending play there.
In a game earlier this year, Skinner had 10 shots on goal in one game. Now it is Bouwmeester back of the goal for Stastny. And he kicks it free for Bouwmeester. Kept in by Rask, but he runs into a freight train by the name of Tarasenko. Tarasenko is up front here with Stastny. And then Murphy drops it off. Now up the middle for Lindholm. Moves back in. Here comes Lindholm with it to the net. And that goes wide. And it comes around to Tarasenko.
Oh, he can't get a hold of it. The bench trying to yell that Pietrangelo had jumped up there right away. And he was wide open through the neutral zone.
And now the Blues send it in deep. 90 seconds gone in overtime. Blues have won 3 straight, looking for their 4th consecutive win. Hurricanes have won 3 of 4. And they do not look like a club that is 11 games under 500. As Sekera waits patiently. Gets it by Schwartz to center ice. But now Oshie comes in. Steals it from Eric Staal. Oshie off his skates. Now down low to Schwartz. But swept to the corner by Ward. Blues have 2 men on the puck. Oshie and Schwartz. Oshie funnels one back of the goal. And then Sekera had it knocked away. Oshie in front. And then Schwartz couldn't get a shot. Checked at the last minute, I think, by Jordan Staal.
Oh, and boy, did Eric Staal awkwardly go down there. He's in pain going to the bench.
Now the Blues come in. Shattenkirk. A shot block. Laterra in front off a skate. And a right pad save by Ward.
Ward followed that puck over to his right. You're right. Wasn't a clean shot, but it was a rebound off the skate.
And now Gerby. On his knees, swats one down low. And Bouwmeester wins a battle in the corner. Now for Laterra. And skates back at the goal away from Nash. Now Laterra, nice play for Gunnarsson.
Incredible patience he just showed there.
Into Bouwmeester. He delays, and then a shot was tipped by a Hurricane stick well wide. And then Pietrangelo at the line. He kept it in. Now for Berglund. In for Laterra out of midair. To Bouwmeester. Checks. He scores! Bouwmeester wins it for the good guys. Now they're saying no goal.
There is slight interference on the goaltender Ward, but the linesman had a quick conversation with Pizzari. Again, we reiterate, only one referee in this third period. Rob Martel out. Backhand pass. Knocked out in midair. Laterra's backhand pass. There's a slight interference there on Berglund skating across. Ward's left skate hits the right skate of Berglund coming across. This is incidental contact with the goaltender moving over to his left. There is no intention whatsoever, and Berglund's actually on the outside of the crease, it looks like. I mean, these are just things that happen in the course of a game. Tough position for Pizzari to be in. He's looking at a lot of things, and they're not used to one referee. He makes the call, and it is not a reviewable situation. Not reviewable.
Incidental contact, but no penalty.
I'll be interested.
And no goal.
Yeah, interested to hear the thoughts of General Manager Doug Armstrong on that. There's many GMs that would like to see certain situations at least be reviewable in goalie interference. That would be a flag that a coach could throw on that one, I'm sure.
Now the Hurricanes, they work into the zone. Fault for Lindholm. As we continue here, it's 4-4, 1:25 left. Lindholm back of the goal. Trying to get to the slot. still with it. And all he can do is play it back to the Blues goal.
Again, that's great defending there by Bouwmeester. I mean, that's what we've seen time and time again from Bouwmeester. He's starting to round into form at the right time.
Now, this might be his best game. Again, +4 tonight, and appeared to have the overtime winner. Final minute now in overtime. Here's Falk, a pass. Tipped in deep by Jordan Staal. Chopped around by Shattenkirk. And now walked along by Gunnarsson. And up the ice, the Hurricanes break it up. And Ryan Murphy slows it down, leaves it for Ron Hainsey. Hainsey drops it off. Eric Staal. And then back of the goal, Tarasenko gets it back for the Blues. And with 30 seconds left, Blues can't work it out. Skinner against Gunnarsson. Comes in front, Shattenkirk. Now Stastny lobs it ahead. Tarasenko is offside. And again, the fans are going to be disenchanted with the officials.
Tough call there. That pass is up in the air, fluttering by Stastny, and it gets knocked down there by Murphy, and that's the reason why he's slightly offside. He doesn't agree with it, but you can see the intention of Stastny, what he's trying to do. He's got a player there, so he's trying to saucer it over there. And if Murphy doesn't tap that down, it's clean. And with speed, Tarasenko's in there all alone.
That was close. Blues win the faceoff. Bouwmeester gets it back from Oshie. Quickly around to Pietrangelo. And the Blues with 8 seconds left here. Schwartz looks up at the clock, cuts to the middle. Now Schwartz, a pass intended for Oshie. That's broken up, and we will go to a shootout in St. Louis.
Now it's picking out your players that are going to participate in the shootout after it looked like the drama had ended. And here from the higher up here, we're gonna end up stopping here. Stop it here if we can. And you see the positioning right here as the goaltender's getting set. His left skate is hung out there on the left, and Berglund just skating to the front. He's in the white paint right there, and right away Ward looks over at the referees. He's over to the right. There's the collision with the skates right there as the referee just coming into play. These are one of these calls that absolutely drive these players nuts right here. Ward getting set. The skate clearly hits his left skate. I mean, there's no denying that. His skate hits his skate.
Well, the shootout is brought to you by JimButlerChevrolet.com. Jim Butler is the Chevy powerhouse. And tonight's goalie career shootout numbers are presented by JimButlerChevrolet.com. Well, Brian Elliott is out of the game, so it's Cam Ward against Jake Allen. Allen took over after Elliott allowed 3.
Yeah, it's Elliott's game as it was once it got to 3-3, whether it's a win or a loss.
Oshie, the first shooter, 52% in his career. Oshie against Ward. Waits, and he scores! What a move!
Well, it looks like the shootout sensation in Sochi is back. That's a peach, hun. Wow! He just goes to the backhand there and casually gets it to the forehand, and he doesn't just fire it over the glove. He makes sure. Cam Ward's had a great glove all game long. That's under the bar and in.
And Jeff Skinner, 0 for 3 on the year. The Hurricanes' first shooter against Allen. Skinner in, and a right pass saved by Jake Allen.
Oh, good patience shown by Allen. Skinner's showing 5-hole all the way. Didn't disguise it whatsoever, and he is frustrated going back to the bench. And you can see the positioning there of Jake Allen as if he read the book. He saw what was happening. Great save.
Steen 20% on the year. Blues lead 1-0 after the first round. Steen swings wide, quickly in on goal. And a save by Ward. It almost trickled through his legs. That ended up right near the far goal post.
Yeah, it looked like it hit The right thigh, the left thigh. Oh, hit the blocker first. And then the tail of the heel of the stick. And then it dribbles in right between the legs, but wide.
And Eric Stahl.
Eric's got such a long reach. That's the big play and hard to defend against that reach.
Scored on a breakaway against Elliott. Here he comes. And a right pass save by Allen. And now the Blues couldn't win it.
Looks like he's trying to draw Allen to Allen's left and then go against the grain with that long reach. See, Allen's in position there, using both edges, stays with it for as long as he can, and that's a terrific save.
2 for 5. We know his favorite move. Fake shot, low blocker. Can he do it again and send the Blues home with a winner? Here he comes. And there's the shot, low blocker, and Ward outweighted him and made the save.
Did he ever? That was a game of patience right there. Who's going to make the first move? You've got to give Cam Ward a lot of credit. The 2006 Conn Smythe and Stanley Cup Trophy winner. He holds his ground, doesn't commit at all. Doesn't commit at all. Terrific save.
And now Alexander Semin must score to keep the shootout going. He flies up the middle. Can Allen make the save? Semin in on goal. And save! And the Blues win it in a shootout!
And Jake Allen gets the win. Coming in relief after sitting out as part of the 3-goalie system right here in St. Louis. This is a big confidence builder for young Jake Allen. He really had to battle it out, make some very, very good saves in the third period. And what a game this has been. Didn't start out the way they planned it, but it ends with 2 points, and that's the bottom line. Semin goes low, and you can see the glove position there of Allen. Semin doesn't go high. He tries to get it about 15 inches off the ice, and Allen reads that off his stick the whole way. Terrific save. In the meantime, our Bud Light player of the game, I'm going to give it to Jaden Schwartz. Almost 20 minutes of ice time, a +2, 3 shots. Boy, when he had the puck, dangerous things happened. He was tenacious on the back check and awfully good on the forecheck.
Let's go to Tom Calhoun for tonight's 3 stars.
3 stars of tonight's game. The game's third star, scoring 1 goal and adding an assist and playing it a forward for Carolina, number 53, Jeff Skinner. The game's second star, stopping 24 of 25 Carolina shots in regulation, and all 3 in the shootout, number 34, Jake Allen. And the game's first star, scoring 1 goal and playing it a forward for the Blues, number 20, Alexander Steen.
Hop over the boards, big fella. Post-game interview and a win. I'm sure that this game didn't start the way you had planned it, but as you've said to us many times, you have to have an even keel. Did you keep that after 1 period of play, or did you get that urgency back in your game to begin the second period?
Yeah, I think so. I think lately we've been really resilient, especially with that, and tonight was no different. We got behind early, a few mistakes that ended up costing us. They have a lot of firepower up front, and took advantage of some mistakes, and we regrouped in the first period. That's basically all we did was just sit and tell each other, just regroup and go back in the second.
As a team, you guys take it personally in there when a goaltender who's an individual in a team sport gets pulled? Is that when the work boots start getting pulled up?
Yeah, obviously. You don't want to see that, and there's no fault of Moose's in the first period. That was all on us, so it's you feel bad, and we wanted to make sure we didn't make the same mistake with Alice when he went in.
You got to be pretty proud of 2 guys that are going to the All-Star game, Kevin Shattenkirk and Vladdy Tarasenko.
Yeah, the guys have been playing awesome. I mean, Vladdy single-handedly been winning us games, and Shaddy's been tremendous on the power play. Such a calm, composed player, and we're extremely excited for those 2 guys.
Well, Senior, you had a heck of a game. Congratulations. 2 points are 2 points the way I see it.
Thanks, Banger.
Thanks.
There's Alexander Steen. The Blues win it 5-4 in the shootout. And as Darren Pang mentioned it, Bernie Federko, not the first period they were looking for, but certainly the effort the rest of the way to help the Blues get the 2 points.
Hanger just said it. 2 points is 2 points. It doesn't matter how you do it. Yes, they would like to do it in regulation or in overtime instead of the shootout, but I always look at it as always gets the crowd into it, Pat. People keep wanting to say, we don't want the shootout anymore. Well, did you see anybody sit down in here during the entire shootout? So just a huge win. This is a confident team. They found a way to come back and win this game, and kudos to them as they continue to keep it chasing Nashville, who keeps winning. So you can't take a night off, Pat, and they certainly didn't do that.
They did not. The Blues win at 5-4. We're going to continue. Don't forget, in a little while, we'll bring you Missouri Lottery Blues Live, the post-game edition. Back to wrap things up, though, from Scott Trade Center after this.